Good afternoon and welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. I'm Jared Floyd, joining you a smidge later than normal on this midday live stream. Clearly it's Gumbo Pie Day, so we went and ate lunch, and then after lunch, kind of needed to stroll off a couple of calories, and so we made our way through Antique Alley, and then I found my way into numerous stores that involved chocolate, and so we just added the calories right back on. Or at least I did. And so, good news there. Overall review of the Gumbo Pie, of course, 2 thumbs up. It was delicious. Tracy and the crew, of course, always make that a special occasion for the Floyd family, and we enjoyed it as we always do. They may still have some shortly after lunchtime, but I started seeing them kind of flying out of the kitchen a little bit more quickly by around lunchtime. So, again, there's a limited supply. Go check them out. If you don't know what a gumbo pie is, think gumbo. Perhaps a smidge thicker consistency of gumbo in terms of, less juice, less. But the chicken and sausage and the rice, and then the pie shell over the top. It's delicious. A look at the visible satellite this afternoon. Not a whole lot happening across the area in terms of rainfall, but we are starting to see the clouds increase, and those are, we saw them increase overnight, but they are also increasing across southern Arkansas this afternoon as boundary number 1 of a series of weak boundaries starts to approach the region. This one doesn't really bring any dramatic changes to the forecast as we go into the early half of the weekend, but tomorrow night's front that's the bigger one that most folks will notice. A check of the radar, and of course, all radar products made possible by Brown's Roofing. If you missed out this morning, again, a reminder that Brown's Roofing is starting their Bundle Up Clothing Drive, started November 1st, continues through December 1st. They have a ton of drop-off locations across the area. You can go to their Facebook page for more information on those drop-off spots. And then also, you can, if you have a big donation, you can even arrange a pickup. So check that out. Again, rainfall, thunderstorms to our east, already seeing some showers across the Gulf coastline, but the more organized storms across the Tennessee and Ohio valleys from Nashville northward, really no bother to us this afternoon. We're in the mid to upper 70s. A lot of areas will hit the 80-degree mark pretty easily today. Winfield, Natchitoches already there. 70 in Camden, 71 in El Dorado. So obviously, as the cloud cover is a little bit thicker across southern Arkansas, some spots are noticeably cooler. So that weak boundary, while not necessarily a dramatic cold front, it will make at least a few degrees difference across portions of the region this afternoon. Hello, Mr. Eddie, and happy Friday to you. Dew points are a little bit soupier outside. If you stepped outside and you kind of noticed it's just a little muggier, you're right, and even starting to get a little uncomfortable in some spots. And normally you would think 80s with dew points like this in November with a cold front approaching, we've got to be looking at some kind of severe weather threat. That does not appear to be the case as we go through the weekend. Winds are a bit breezy out of the southwest, some areas 10, 15 miles per hour at times, and I would expect it to be just a generally breezy weekend. We've got a pretty powerful storm system, cold front, making its way through portions of the Great Lakes region, that front moving through our area as well. So that's going to bring, obviously, some stronger pressure gradient winds. You get the big colder air mass that's going to move into place. That all kind of works hand in hand to bring breezy conditions to the region. Futurecast made possible by Bayou Power Sports, I-20 Frontage Road in Monroe. Again, a reminder that holiday season is upon us. Youth side-by-side and ATV stock is limited. Go see Mike and the guys, and again, tell them that Jared sent you. They may ask you to leave. Most of us are in the low end of the 70s as we go into the evening hours tonight. We'll have your football forecasts here in about an hour and a half or so. I've still got to finalize those as we take a look at the outside chance of maybe running into a stray shower tonight. Again, if you run into rain, it will be very light and likely fairly brief. But this weak boundary does have some lift in the atmosphere. You note on Futurecast there, the red arrows out of the south along I-20 by early tomorrow morning, and then the northerly winds, the bluer arrows out of the north, as you move into southern Arkansas. So there is a little bit of a contrast in air mass there and a little bit of lift in the atmosphere that could maybe generate some isolated sprinkles across the region. As we go into the daytime hours on Saturday, low 80s generally expected for highs. Stand by for a second. That is the creepiest thing that has ever happened on a live stream. We have a paper shredder back there just turned on for no reason. That's how horror movies start. Oh, the paper shredder turned on. Let me go see what happened. That was horrifying. Anyway, I don't even know where I was. Winds are out of the southwest as we go through the nighttime hours tonight. We've got somebody posting some crazy spam comment on Facebook. Man, the universe is working against this weather update here. Jan asked if will I be bringing updates over the weekend. I will be providing some updates. I don't know how many will be live, but I'll be obviously keeping an update on the forecast. You can keep up with those tracks, those update changes on the app. But yeah, obviously we keep an eye on temperatures going into next week. They will be a little bit more infrequent the weekend, and we're not expecting anything dramatic in terms of impactful weather. It's just the colder air moving in. But yeah, I'll continue to update the forecast in terms of the morning lows on Monday and into Tuesday. Shonda says, you're ready to wear your turtleneck? I think you're going to have your opportunity because, again, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, that's when the cold front moves through. Let's get back into Futurecast. Hopefully the paper shredder doesn't turn back on. Winds are back out of the northwest as we go into Sunday morning, mid to upper 40s. Do you know why that turned on? Oh, my wife's desk right beside me. And wow. We got to get a new paper shredder. Mid to upper 40s to start the morning hours on Sunday. And then the reinforcing shot of even colder air. I know you're thinking 40s. How much colder can we get? We'll probably hit low 60s, upper 50s for highs right around lunchtime on Sunday. And then I would think shortly after that, temperatures either level off or they start falling, and likely falling into the 40s by sundown. And that also entertains the possibility of dropping below freezing on Monday morning. I want to preface by saying I showed you this because I like how it kind of times things out. I like how it advertises the cloud cover and the spotty rain chances. It is a little over-aggressive with low temperatures on Monday, at least in my mind. I think 25, 26 degrees is a smidge too cold for what this air mass is going to bring us. But it will bring some areas to and below freezing. I also think we're going to struggle to see some areas even get into the low 50s on Monday afternoon. We'll be back near or below freezing to start the day on Tuesday, but the winds are already back out of the south and southwest by then, and that should push the warming trend rather rapidly through the early to middle parts of next week. Your wind forecast. This is, again, where I was talking about earlier. The winds will start to pick up out of the southwest as we go through the day on Saturday, especially as that boundary moves through late in the day. Sustained winds probably in the 10 to 15 mile an hour range. I would think gusts to 20 to 25 are not out of the question, especially as we get through the day on Sunday. That second boundary arrives Sunday, and that's where I would expect to see the winds start really picking up late in the day Sunday. Again, 20, 25 mile an hour gusts not out of the question. And that's with falling temperatures, so it'll be a little uncomfortable. Look at the severe weather threat for today. Again, if you joined us earlier this week, we did have parts of the area that were outlooked for severe weather on Friday. That threat has shifted well to the east. Tomorrow's severe weather threat that included parts of the region as well has been wiped out. So all good news in that regard. Again, a spotty shower can't be completely ruled out as we go into the evening hours tonight. We'll call it generally mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, and then it's mostly cloudy across southern Arkansas. Winds are out of the southwest with daytime highs in the low end of the 80s. Overnight lows tonight will vary depending on location. There will be some spots in the mid to upper 50s across southern Arkansas, while much of northern Louisiana and western Mississippi will stay in the low 60s. The patchy fog could sneak back in. Most of us will see mostly cloudy skies, and the rain chances, at least along and south of the I-20 corridor, could maybe sneak up to about 20%. Look at the 7-day forecast made possible by 3B Hardware, and here's the funny thing about it. I was getting ready to find a weather word to put on the 7-day on Sunday just to try to get your attention that There is at least a pretty sharp change in temperatures on Sunday, and I was like, what word would probably be best used to describe Sunday? And my mouse cursor just immediately landed on the word blustery, and I was like, that is a great way to describe Sunday. It is going to be chilly. The winds are going to be windy. The winds are going to be gusty, and so obviously it's going to be a pretty uncomfortable day. Even with quite a bit of sunshine, you're going to step outside, and 60 or 61 is going to feel much cooler than that. And then when we fall into the 50s or even the 40s later in the day and the sun sets, it'll get pretty uncomfortable pretty quickly. Monday also pretty chilly, probably a little breezy at times, but temperatures start to rebound pretty quickly as we head toward Veterans Day and beyond. But morning lows on Veterans Day could be near the freezing mark for most locations. If you have plants that can't tolerate that cold, make sure you take care of them accordingly over the next few days. That's a look at the forecast midday. I'll have your football forecasts for our area high school and college teams coming out in about an hour or so. I'll join you this evening with a look at the forecast as we set up for the weekend, and obviously if there's any crazy changes between now and then, I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated on that paper shredder situation too, man. That was alarming. Thanks so much for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. Go get you a gumbo pie before they sell out. Enjoy your Friday, everybody.